Hello, everyone. It is absolutely wonderful to be with you today. Welcome to Empower Fantastic Life. Find your power, live without limits. Today, we are exploring a really fascinating blueprint for excellence designed by Brad Rex. Now, if you have zero background in corporate management, please don't worry. In this explainer, we're going to take his high-level elite business principles and translate them directly into simple, actionable steps for your everyday life. Here's our quick roadmap for today's session. We'll be walking through the surpassing blueprint, the virtuous cycle, mastering the guest experience, the 7 pillars of excellence, and finally, living without limits.
All right, let's dive right into Section 1, the surpassing blueprint. But before we actually apply these principles, we really need to understand who we're learning from. Our expert guide today is Brad Rex, and I have to say, his career is pretty legendary. He started out operating in what is arguably the ultimate high-pressure environment as an engineering officer on a U.S. Navy nuclear submarine. From there, he graduated from Harvard Business School and then went on to lead Disney's Epcot theme park for 5 years. And get this, he successfully navigated that massive park through the unprecedented global crisis of 9/11. Later, he became the executive vice president and chief customer officer for Hilton Grand Vacations. So this is a person who has literally forged his leadership philosophy in the deepest oceans and at the very highest levels of the hospitality industry.
All of that intense experience really culminates in the core concept of his book, The Surpassing Life. The word surpassing here is very intentional. It means exceeding expectations. It's about going beyond the bare minimum to pursue infinite possibilities. But the absolutely crucial point here is how you actually get there. It's not through these sporadic, random bursts of energy. It's through disciplined, daily practice. Think of it like physical fitness. You know you don't get into great shape by lifting one massive weight once a year, right? You build strength through consistent, daily, disciplined habits. And that is exactly how you unlock a surpassing life.
Moving on to Section 2, the virtuous success cycle. This is where we look at the difference between success and failure in any organization, what we call the virtuous cycle versus the vicious cycle. To understand this easily, let's use the neighborhood cafe effect. Imagine a local cafe where you walk in and the barista instantly remembers your name and your exact order. You feel valued, so you become incredibly loyal. And naturally, you tell all your friends to go there. For that cafe, that means high loyalty, zero marketing cost because you literally did the marketing for them, and great profitability. That's the virtuous cycle. Contrast that with the vicious cycle. Think about the last time you called an automated telecom menu. You're put on hold for an hour, your problem isn't even solved, and you are just completely frustrated. You leave, you warn your friends never to use them, and suddenly that company has to spend millions on advertising just to replace all the customers running out the back door. The lesson here is simple. Treat people exceptionally well, and the cycle practically sustains itself. Next up is Section 3, master the guest experience. You see, elite organizations don't just sit around hoping for that virtuous cycle to happen. They actively engineer it. Brad outlines several key rules to master the guest experience, and 4 of them are absolutely vital. First, hire for passion. You can teach someone a skill, but you really cannot teach someone to care. Second, leaders must get in costume. To truly understand the front line, Brad personally spent 400 hours in 50 different Disney costumes. He hauled trash at the Magic Kingdom and sold tickets at Epcot just so he could experience the job exactly as his employees did. Third, fix stupid systems. If a computer system is so incredibly slow that it prevents an employee from helping a customer, you don't blame the employee, you fix the system. And fourth, value complaints. A complaint is simply free consulting from someone who genuinely wants you to be better. Another brilliant insight he shares is the intelligent management of labor. Managing 33,000 cast members at Disney taught Brad that you need the exact right number of people. We can translate this into an everyday dinner party analogy. Imagine throwing a dinner party at your house. If you have 5 hosts hovering over only 2 guests, those guests are going to feel overwhelmed and awkwardly monitored, while the hosts are just bored out of their minds. But if you have 1 host for 40 guests, everyone is hungry, the host is completely burned out, and the whole experience is ruined. So intelligent management means finding that perfect sweet spot balance so everyone thrives.
And I really want you to consider this quote. Recognition is the free fuel that drives your operation. If you want your employees to treat your customers with joy and respect, you absolutely must treat your employees with joy and respect. You cannot put contaminated fuel into a sports car and expect it to run a flawless race. The way you greet your team, the quality of their break room, the way you thank them at the end of the day, that is the clean, high-octane fuel that powers that entire virtuous cycle we talked about.
Let's transition to Section 4, 7 Pillars of Excellence. Brad's book is elegantly structured into 52 practical lessons corresponding to the 52 weeks of the year. It really serves as a personal, weekly blueprint for growth, categorized into 7 key pillars: money, health, honor, relationships, knowledge, leadership, and success. The main takeaway here is that true excellence requires balance. You cannot simply maximize your wealth while your health or your relationships completely collapse. You have to actively build across all 7 of these domains. Let's look at a really specific, relatable example from the money pillar. Brad uses the analogy of the $23 cup of coffee. Now, obviously, a regular cup of coffee doesn't cost $23 today, but he is highlighting the power of opportunity cost and compound interest. If you take the $5 you'd spend on a premium coffee every single day and instead invest it wisely over the span of your career, that single cup's value at retirement is equivalent to $23. This perfectly illustrates how our tiny, everyday micro-decisions profoundly impact our massive long-term goals. It's not about never drinking coffee. It's about being consciously aware of the true cost of your daily habits. Moving into the knowledge, leadership, and honor pillars, we find that lifelong learning and unwavering integrity are what actually build true leaders. Brad frequently draws on his intense submarine experience to prove this point. Imagine spending 70 days entirely underwater, trapped in a sealed steel tube. In that environment, there is simply no faking it. Your competence and your character are on full, constant display to your team. True character isn't what you project when you're up on a stage. It is built behind closed doors, or in this case, deep beneath the ocean's surface. Integrity is simply doing the exact right thing when absolutely no one from the outside world is watching. Finally, we've reached Section 5, Living Without Limits. Ultimately, it all comes down to redefining what we are actually aiming for in life. Success is not merely the accumulation of status, a fancy job title, or massive wealth. True success is all around personal excellence and spiritual richness. Mastering customer service at work, leading with integrity, and managing your personal health and finances at home, these are not separate lives. They are just 2 sides of the exact same coin. When you fix the broken systems in your daily routine, you naturally start to provide a much better guest experience to your family, your friends, and most importantly, yourself. So I want to leave you with a crucial question to reflect on today. We all have processes that slow us down or frustrate the people around us. Which of your stupid systems, whether in your business operations or your personal daily routine, will you fix today to start your surpassing life? You've been listening to Empower Fantastic Life, Jaeger Empowerment Academy. See you next time. Bye-bye.